Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Real Estate Success Podcast. I'm your host today, Jim Ingersoll, coming to you from my office in Richmond, Virginia, hanging out with the always amazing Marie Hollonds from Quest Trust Company, formerly Quest IRA. Marie, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing this morning, Jim?
Doing great. Hey, I want to thank all of our listeners. You guys are awesome. And remind you guys, and thank those that are registering early for dealmaker2020live.com in February. February is going to come up faster than you think, because when you're planning these events, as we're going to talk about today, time goes pretty quickly. And so we appreciate everybody who's already been signing up for that. And we're going to focus in on today what I think is the who's who of real estate and investing in self-directed IRAs, which is the Quest Expo. And the brains behind all of it is the always amazing Marie Hollonds.
Well, thanks for that big introduction there.
So, Marie, tell me, what did you do before you were at Quest? Let's just go back a little bit, and then we'll come forward to the expo. But let everybody get to know you a little bit.
Yeah, so I have been with Quest for a bit over 6.5 years now. Wow. I actually started in my senior year of college. I got an internship with Quest while I was still living in Austin, and I loved it so much and realized I had such a passion for it. It was kind of unexpected. I studied marketing. The financial side was really quite unexpected for me, but I loved it, and I ended up accepting a full-time position and moved down to Houston.
You know, that's true for a lot of the Questies and the folks at Quest, right? They come in through an internship and they love the culture and they just stick around.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a really strong internship program at Quest, so it really makes it easy. But I was actually chatting with Jeff Watson. I saw him at an event recently, and he was like, man, you know, everybody that works at Quest, they seem so happy. It seems like everybody is just really enjoying themselves. You know, what do you attribute that to? And I told him, I think it's the fact that at Quest, when your strengths or kind of your abilities are recognized, they allow you to sort of run with it. And so that's definitely unique. A lot of companies, you know, you're kind of in your box and you're doing, you know, your job. And if you have skills and abilities, sometimes maybe those aren't always being used, or your creative ideas. So that's kind of how the expo came about too. It was just a crazy idea that we had. So
let's talk about that. Where did that crazy idea come from? Like, when did the light bulb go off and you guys said, man, we could do an expo?
Yep.
And then you're like, oh my gosh, how do we do it?
Yeah, right. I remember exactly where we were and exactly when it was. We were actually at Eddie Speed's big trade show that he has every year. We've been going to that for years. It's one of our favorite events that we go to. It was myself, Nathan and Rebecca Miller, and we're all sitting there. We went and we had lunch, and we're walking out now, and Nathan was like, man, this is such a great event. You know, we do so many events over here at Quest. And I remember I looked at Nathan and I was like, I think we could do a trade show. And he was like, yeah, I think you're right. You know, it was just one of those conversations in passing. And then it was funny because I got into the office on Monday morning and he's like, so have you thought about planning that trade show yet?
There you go. Just like that, it happened. So it started at Eddie. Eddie and his wife are awesome folks, and they do have, you know, they're great contributors of content and help so many people. So you guys were there, you had lunch, and all of a sudden the light bulb came off, and it originated with you, Marie.
Yeah, at Quest, I'm one of our marketing directors. So a lot of the event coordination and coordinating the education and speakers, all of those sorts of things falls under me. So it was kind of a crazy big idea that I had, you know, lots of experience at Quest in planning events. We do like 600, whether they're ours or whether there's someone else's events that we're attending. But this was definitely the first of its size for sure.
And I want to say, I really have appreciated you folks supporting my event with Quincy speaking for 6 or 7 years now. So I will give you guys a big thank you for that as well. And I mean, Quincy has really impacted a lot of people, including myself. So thank you to Super Q for that. So you got back to your office Monday, and Nate came to you and said, how are you coming on this? And you're like, are you serious?
Yeah, kind of. It was one of those things where you have one of those conversations and then you never really think something's going to come of it, right? Yeah. But he was ready. He was like, yep, we're going to do it. So Monday he came to me and we started getting the plan in the works. And last year we did it up in Dallas for the first time ever.
What time of the year did you guys have this brilliant idea where it was Monday morning and you're like, we're going to do this? because I know it was in August. I was there in Dallas last year.
Yep. So I want to say it was in November, the year prior. So we had from November till August, basically, to plan the event. So it definitely is a long-term project. It takes a lot of time. We have a huge staff here that does marketing and sales for us. So definitely not doing it alone. There's lots of key people that are contributing and, you know, making it possible, like Rebecca Miller, Ingrid, and the rest of our teams here.
Great people, great people, great people. I put on events. I know how much work they are. So how did you begin like figuring out like that Monday morning and you're like, this is reality now. We're going to do this. What were the first things that you did and how did you start did you build a team? Did you get ideas? You know, did you benchmark other events you've been to? What did you guys do to get rolling?
Kind of the first thing that we started trying to lay out is what we wanted the event to consist of. So obviously, you know, we wanted there to be self-directed education in there, or how to do your investments tax-free. But really, we wanted it to be mostly focused on all of the incredible things that you could be doing in the real estate space. And really this year we've even branched out more. We're even going to have someone talking about like oil and gas investments and some different things as well. So we really just wanted it to be an all-inclusive event where if you kind of didn't know what you wanted to invest into, or you were looking for something different than what you're already doing, that would be a good opportunity to be exposed to it. So that was really kind of step one. Step two was really picking a venue at that point, kind of locking down a date and figuring out how we were going to fit all these people.
A big commitment to make. They're expensive, way more expensive than people realize.
Oh,
and
yeah.
sign a contract, that's a tough contract to sign. I mean, you've got to have some guts to actually sign the contract, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, you got to be able to negotiate and know all the hotel lingo that they use and all that too.
Yeah.
Yep.
I changed venues this year. I got a bigger venue because we keep selling out and I keep turning people away. So I know I changed. So I had to reread a new one this year. The other one I've been using for years. It was easy. All right. So then you got and that was a great venue. That was a big space. And when I went to your event, it was like the who of real estate, so to speak. And, you know, I ran into so many friends that are in my network, and all of my listeners know your network is your net worth. And I really believe that. And I kept running into Jeff Watson, John Hart, David Phelps, you know, Quincy Long, the whole Quest team, and Wendy Sweet and Fuquan. And I mean, I could go on and on and on and on. And it was a multi-generational thing. So we had like Brantley Gunn there, who's a millennial. And then we had his father, who's, you know, like a baby boomer. And there was a lot of great people there. It was actually my favorite event of 2018.
Oh, well, thank you so much. It's such an honor for you to say that, because I'm sure you go to lots of events.
I've been going for years, and they do make a large impact on what we do. So if all of our listeners are wondering how to get the info, the website is questexpo.com, correct?
Yep, you got it.
So just go to questexpo.com and sign up. I believe there's still a 15% off there. The price is very affordable and very cheap, in my opinion. To be able to get into that room with that many great people, whether you need deal flow or you need some lending or you need some education, you get it all at Quest Expo, in my opinion. So let's go back to last year's event. I mean, you guys, when I walked in, you guys had like the grand stage with the big balloons and the great signage. And you had a lot of awesome sponsors. I mean, how hard was it to coordinate all the moving pieces in that event, Anne-Marie?
It's definitely a lot of work. It takes time, and it takes, like I said, a huge team of people. So we couldn't, you know, I couldn't do this without all of them. But it definitely is very, very time consuming. And to be honest with you, you know, when we thought, okay, well, we're going to do a trade show, you know, we thought it would be maybe 300, 350 people. And so it was really surprising to us that we ended up getting like over 550 people for the first year. This year, we're thinking we're going to be pushing like 600 to 700. So just the amount of interest that we got from people was really exciting. And I think really pushed us to want everything to be so perfect. And we just spent countless hours on it. So I'm
But
really
I
glad
think
that
you're
you.
going to push higher than that. I will wager a bet with you that you'll hit over 800 people. Just my opinion, because I think there's going to be a huge thrust at the end. And that's one of the things as when I plan my own boot camp, it's like every year Cheryl laughs at me, my wife, you've met her, but I get nervous. Like,
Yep.
when are people going to finally sign up and come? But they always do. And there's like a huge push at the end. And
Yep.
I'll tell you, last night I shared your post on the Quest Expo to my real estate group, real estate investor success group. And that group's got over 16,500 people in it now. And all of a sudden, like all these people were saying, I'm going, I'm going, I'm going. And then a bunch of people were like, I need to go. I need to sign up. I got to get there. And so I think the word is going to spread and there will be a gigantic push at the end. But for me, when I'm planning my events, it makes me very nervous.
Me too. It makes me nervous too. And then on the day of, you're waiting there.
Yeah.
You're just watching the people start coming in. It's like, whew, okay.
This is really happening, right?
Yeah.
Hey, have you ever seen that show on Netflix? It's called 7 Days Out.
I don't think so. No.
It's a documentary about gigantic events, like say the Kentucky Derby was one of them. And it's like a behind the scenes look into what goes into these gigantic events. It's a documentary on Netflix. And I'm sure that you could relate to that documentary. You might want to check it out.
Yeah, I will.
Your event's a lot bigger than mine. I mean, I think I will have more than, say, 150 people this year, but I can't imagine myself hitting 800.
It takes a village to get there. It's crazy.
Well, you guys have a huge amount of followers and a lot of customers. And, I think a lot of people go self-directed and they don't know exactly how to get started. And so the money, I can just picture the money just sort of sitting at Quest. And all of us want that money to be active and earning and compounding. And I think an event like this can be good for those beginners as well. Do you agree?
Yeah, I definitely agree. And that was one of the things that was important to me in creating, kind of the content for the event every year, is that I wanted it to be friendly enough for people that are, very, very experienced, that they have a lot of knowledge in the real estate space, that they can still take away nuggets from the event, but also for the people that are brand new and maybe they are not an account holder. They really don't know about self-directed IRAs or anything about investing, and they've just heard about it, on the radio or driving by a billboard or something like that, right? And it kind of piques their interest. I wanted it to be good for them as well. So day one starts off a little bit on the newer side. So we talk about how you might be able to find deals, talk about, the different avenues for that, marketing, and then we talk about how to evaluate a deal. And it kind of progresses through. We talk about money, the different resources for finding that, hard money, private money, all those sorts of things. And then as we continue to progress on, we talk more so about specific investments in day 2 and 3. So we talk about multifamily. We talk about, I know that you'll be on the rentals and Airbnb property. We're going to be talking about fix and flips. We're going to be talking about commercial deals. So there'll be kind of a little of something for everybody there.
And I think it'll be good. I think, like when I'm on the panels, I could take either side. Like I could talk about the awesome things about flipping houses, or I could talk to people about all the risk and how it's really not like HGTV. And I'm going to be on the Airbnb and rental side, and I could take either side. Like Airbnb, you get great cash flow. The cash flow is great, but it is, if you've never managed it, it is a lot of work. It's Cheryl, my wife, recently said it's like managing a hotel with no staff. So that's the reality of the Airbnb side. Great cash flow. My kids are doing great with Airbnb, by the way. They're young and hungry and after that cash flow. But I really, long-term, like being a landlord. It has changed my life. And so long-term, it's a lot more passive and easy for me. So I could take either side of these things, and I'm looking forward to engaging in person to see how that discussion goes.
I'm really excited. That has been one of the panels that has gotten the most interest. I'm not really sure why right now, but that seems like really one of the most hot topics. And, you talked about at the expo, it kind of was multi-generational. I'm excited because that panel specifically is very multi-generational. There's a couple people that, they're millennials, they're on the younger side. And then there's more people that have been in the industry for, 30 plus years on there as well. So I'm excited to kind of see the different perspectives on it.
And my kids are both millennials. They're young like you, and they're doing really well with Airbnb. They've done extremely well. I think personally the sweet spot for furnished rentals, I'll just reveal it right here, is extended stay. So I'm good with the cash flow side of furnished rentals, but I'm doing more. It's easier for me to do corporate stays, 30-day minimum. And I really also like the traveling nurse niche. I love working with traveling nurses that come to our properties, especially like a one bedroom, and they stay for a minimum of 30 days. And those are like an in-between traditional landlord and Airbnb. But my kids have done really well with Airbnb, so I understand that side of it as well. I think if we're going to talk about Airbnb for a second, it's sort of like the sexy thing for the moment.
It sure
You
is.
never really know what's under the covers until you peel them back. And there's sometimes some surprises with people jumping into Airbnb that they don't really expect to be there, because their perception is just like flipping houses looks so great on HGTV,
Yep.
but there's a dark side of flipping houses. That also is a tremendous amount of work. And the cool thing is you can do all of this, well, not really Airbnb active, but you can do a lot of this stuff self-directed. And you can do private lending. You can, if you don't want to be the lender, you could be the borrower. And you can do a lot of things very creatively, structuring deals in self-directed accounts, which is like the nutshell of everything you guys are giving.
Yeah, exactly. We're really excited about it. We kind of have, like I said, we kind of have a little bit of something for everyone. And we're really trying to even have, we don't want it to be the same. So if you went to the expo last year, it's not going to be the same exact speakers. It's not going to be the same topics. It's fresh content. And it hopefully will have some new things in there too that is kind of different than what we've been doing. So I mentioned that this year we're going to be having a multifamily and commercial real estate panel. That wasn't something that we had last year, but we have a lot of interest in that that's popped up. And that's really seems to be very popular right now. And we've had a lot of interest lately, of course, being in Texas, in oil and gas investments as well, and talking about that for self-directed IRAs. So that'll be new for us too. And I'm really kind of excited to bring that to the table. It's different than real estate. So,
and I think, the multifamily is a great way to go. And in the right circumstances, you can syndicate, you can do a fund, you can invest very passively into somebody else's fund. And same thing with notes. We haven't talked about notes yet, but you can invest into somebody else's fund and let them do all the heavy lifting, or you can invest into performing notes or non-performing notes. Real estate is really vast, and finding what you enjoy and going deep with it is a good way. But you're going to get a good mix of all this stuff at the Quest Expo.
Yeah.
So tell me a couple of the new things you guys are considering, or is it a surprise?
So actually, I'm really excited. We have a couple of things in store, but I'll share them here. So we have on Friday night, after day one of the event, all of the VIP attendees and our speakers and sponsors are all invited to come out to the Houston Astros game. So we got section 105 and 106, so it's right there on the field. It's really, really good seating, and we'll be sitting there as a group. So just another fun opportunity to network.
Hey, I'm going to that. I am a huge baseball fan. I'm a Yankees fan, so I'm going to see the Astros in October, I think. If the Yankees play the Astros in October in the playoffs, I probably will be going to the Bronx to watch the game. That's how diehard baseball fan I am. Astros are a great team, and what a great way to build your network.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're really excited about it. So I have a contact with the Astros that's been so helpful to me. And just another kind of crazy idea, I was actually at a game with my family, and I saw on the screen that the mascot, Orbit, who kind of dances and everybody loves, really popular, that he does appearances at schools. So I call up my guy and I was like, all right, Juan, I know this is kind of a crazy idea, but could we get him to come out to the expo? So Orbit will be there. We're going to be giving out Astro swag and Quest swag that everybody can wear. And we'll be doing some fun stuff with him and get some photo ops. So that
I could see the marketing side, like take your self-directed account to the Orbit. Infinity and
write that one down. That's a good one.
All right, so that'll be a lot of fun. And it's so important that your network is everything. I wish I knew that at your age, Anne Marie. Nobody told me. Like I went to college, I got my master's degree. Nobody talked to me about how important your network is or
Yeah.
how important it is to be in the right room with the right people. We're just taught like work hard, get your degree and go to work, climb the corporate ladder. But there's so much more to it that nobody ever taught me until I was closer to 40, unfortunately. I'm glad it wasn't 50.
Yeah, for sure. We definitely try to have opportunities, obviously, where you're going to learn, but we try to put some fun in there and ways for you to really get to know people, to network with people, and build relationships. Especially since we talk a lot about notes, we talk about a lot about lending and borrowing from IRAs. We think that's a really important component of the event is that you need to be able to get to know people and build those relationships. So that was kind of the background for day one. Day two, the Saturday, we have a full day of education. And then that evening we have a casino party, which has a charity component in there. So we always like to give back and do what we can. So anybody that comes, their ticket, it's pretty cheap. It's $20, but their ticket the full price will go to a donation. Everyone will actually get a little token and they'll be able to go and pick the charity that they want to make their donation to. So we have, of course, the Houston Area Parkinson's Society. We do a lot with them, given Quincy's announcement, and then also the Children's Assessment Center of Houston, which helps abused children here in Texas, and then also CAP, which helps the animals. So it's a no-kill shelter that's really, really popular over here in Houston. So
wow, that is very touching that you guys are doing that and pulling that in. So it's a fun environment, but for all of our listeners, they know that I talk about the more you give, the more you receive. And
absolutely,
if you give first, if you help, Zig Ziglar is from Texas, but he used to say, if you help enough people get what they want, you'll have everything you want. And you've got to have a giving component to all aspects of your life, your time with your families, your wife, your kids, your money to help organizations like that. I love it. Way to go. So you're like 30 days out right now. What are you guys working on this week?
Behind the closed door, which we're not seeing because everyone's running around, busy doing stuff right now. But no, I feel like, last year was our first year, so we kind of got a feel for everything and worked out the kinks. So definitely know what we need to do. So all the swag and all the stuff's already on its way here. So we're pretty much ready to go at this point, just getting those last minute people signed up. Everything's really planned.
And I made this offer last year, but I'll be there the day before. If you guys need any help, I would love to help. And that would be great. But you guys never need it because you got a big team and everything's covered.
Yep. I think even one of the sponsors, Keith Baker, for the Private Lender podcast, was saying he's going to organize a little happy hour just to kind of get to know the speakers and sponsors. So I think that's going on Thursday night for anybody that's flying in. If you're staying at the hotel, that'll be at 6:30, just in the bar, just a casual little networking thing.
Oh, I look forward to getting there. That is so smart. And people that are intentional about building those networks, I give you guys all the credit in the world. I've been watching two folks. They're both coming to Quest Expo. They both said they're going to sign up. I don't know if they are yet. Martine and then Laura Eubanks. What they've been doing is so simple, Anne-Marie. All they do is they go out to lunch once a week with somebody who's very successful. And I thought, that is such an easy commitment to hit, but nobody does it. And so I want to just give them a shout out and challenge you guys that are listening today to be intentional about finding ways to build out that network and getting into the right room with the right people, because it makes all the difference in the world. Anne-Marie, I really appreciate all your time today. It's August 23 to the 25th in beautiful Houston, Texas. What's the venue again?
It's the Royal Sonesta. It's right near the Galleria, so it's walking distance. If you are bringing anyone with you and they want to take a little break, it's walking distance to the big fancy mall and restaurants and all that good stuff there. So it'll be a nice location.
All right. Well, that is great. QuestExpo.com. Marie Hollonds is my rock star of the day.
Thank you.
You guys have a great team at Quest, and really everybody should go to QuestTrust.com and check out the free education that's there. All of our listeners need to really understand the power of a self-directed IRA. If you don't want to rely on stockbrokers controlling your future and you want to take control of your own destiny, go to QuestTrust.com and look how self-directed IRAs work for funding your deals, for funding other people's deals, investing in notes, all that great stuff. Anne Marie, let me see. If for next year's event, 2020, are you going to do anything a little different that you've already picked up in the process this year? Final question.
I'm not sure yet. The thing that we're really kind of debating right now is next year's location. So we're going to have a survey at the event, kind of leave it up to the audience to see where people are interested. We were thinking maybe Austin, Texas, which is, one of the best cities in the whole state. It's beautiful there, really fun. Or maybe San Antonio, or maybe back to Dallas. So we're interested to hear what people have to say.
All right, very good. And again, you guys, all of our success listeners can go to questexpo.com and also check out Quest Trust Company, because they are awesome. Anne Marie, I really appreciate your sharing this story today. And I loved hearing how it came to be at the Eddie Speed event. That was awesome. Sure, I had no idea.
I don't even know if I've ever told Eddie that, so I'll have to link him to this.
Shout out to the amazing Eddie Speed. Awesome guy. All right, Anne Marie, thank you so much for sharing today. And look forward to seeing you next month in Houston. Thank you.
Thanks.
All of our listeners, thank you for the shares, the likes, the comments, the reviews. I did get a really nice message this week I forgot to mention from Peyton, and I really appreciated that message today, following up on the podcast I did with Ryan Mellon about traveling while doing deals. Thanks for that. I appreciate the encouragement. You guys have a great week and get your deals done. See you later.